Hello, and we're back with turn 7 of Panzer, and this is scenario 69, Battle of Gazala, .171. Now we're up to turn 7, and our Italian and German forces have made a pretty good drive up both tracks, the northern track and the southern track so far. We do have one little hurdle down here. There is a Commonwealth squad still sitting here that took some shots at our Bersaglieri units that were going to close assault them, and have actually damaged one of them down here, and still have a good one over here as well. We've got to try to knock them out here before these guys can move forward. But our Panzer units up to the north have had more open road or open track and have been able to get up here and discover some units. We've got some mortars and rifles up here as well. This is, remember, our forward observer, which will come into play next turn, not this turn. And started to discover what's up here to the north, and there's quite a bit here to the north that we need to figure out, both in the first company, those are the red blocks, and now the second company is going to be within range. In fact, I think when we get into the spotting range here, we'll find that these guys can be spotted, and we'll see what's there. So with that, let's get going. So turn 7, spotting phase. So taking a look here, yes, these guys can actually be spotted because these units, let's just zoom in here a little bit so you can see it. These units are, remember, these guys are the recon units, so they get a +1 to their spotting range. These guys are in the open. So they are going to be spotted, and we're going to go through that activity here in just a second. So those two of the second platoon, the green ones over here, are going to be able to be spotted from the recon units. So checking the activations. So we do get the first one here. This is going to be this hex right there, and checking for the number of units. 3 units on the first one, and one of them is going to be a rifle unit. It's going to show up right there. Next one is going to be a 2-pounder. It's going to be right there. That's not good. We're going to have to knock them out pretty quick. And the third one is going to be a universal carrier. Well, that's a first. We got some armor on here for our first turn here, first time here, I should say. So they're on there. So now we'll check out G5, which are going to be spotted and activate. Number of units, 2 units. So the first one's going to be a universal carrier MMG. He's going to wind up over there. Second one is going to be a universal carrier ATR. He's going to wind up over there. All right, so we've identified a few more units. I don't think there's anything else. Yeah, down south we're still a bit far away from identifying them. Now this one here is in full cover, so that actually reduces it, so that's why they're not spotted. From the Italian-German perspective, all the vehicles are spotted because they've been moving or firing, and they're definitely within range of all the units, so they're all spotted. Okay, so we'll go to the command phase. Italian tanks, they're going to get 4 commands. Well, they're all going to be moves, pretty much what I expected. Next one's going to be the Bersaglieri units. A couple of fires. We're going to get the mortars to fire on the rifle unit, and we're actually going to have the squad over here, 223, take a shot at them, try to soften them up. I don't want to take them on, because I discussed in earlier videos, the morale differential here is just too big in terms of the hand-to-hand for them to go at it. So they're going to take a shot at them. Hopefully they get the first shot. That's the only variable here. If the rifle units get a first shot, we may be in trouble. Okay, the rest of the units, most of these are move commands. And then we get the other AB-41s, recon units for the Italians coming on there. And also now we're getting the Panzer Company They're going to get 7 commands. And just doing some line of sights here. He's going to fire. Actually, they're all going to fire. Switch those up. And the other recon unit over here is going to move. Okay. The rest of the commands are going to be on the tanks. And they're all going to have moves. And the last one's the infantry company behind. They're going to pretty much stay on the track, moving in column. Okay. Commonwealth, the suppressed units are going to get no commands. All right, meaning they're not going to fire because they are suppressed. That's one of the standard rules within the solo modules, is they get no commands. That doesn't mean they can't fire. It just means that they're not going to be doing any directed fire or overwatch fire. They can do defensive fire, which means that if, say, this unit, this recon unit here, fires at them, they can fire back at them as well. So they can defend themselves. It's not like they're totally out, but they really want to try to recover, get the suppression off, so they're going to be in that mode. Okay, and so now we go to the initiative, and I actually hit the roll button before I did the enter key on my notes here. So the initiative plus 20 DRM, we roll a 2, and just makes 22, so the Commonwealth player is first. That is going to be interesting because down here that means these guys can potentially take a shot at them and knock them out. So a little bit worried. But first we have our indirect fire. So this is a little bit of worry too. We still got guys, tanks and trucks on the road here and here. Hopefully they don't hit us here again. That would not be good. Let's see, they roll a 1, which actually positions the artillery up to the north, up here. Right there. There we go. So that came close. That was actually too close for comfort, but luckily it's going to miss us, so we'll be in good shape. So now we'll come over to the Commonwealth direct fire. And the first one, you know what it's going to be. It's down here. And I think I was just checking some ranges here. Yeah, so here we go. So we can do a command check now. See what he does. Rolls a 7. Now he gets a plus 10 because he's defensive. That only puts him to 17. That means he's got a move command. This is rather bold randomness, I will say, because that means that they are going to try to hand us either here or here. So a little bit of a charge or something to shock the Italians back. That actually plays into our hands because we'll be able to take a shot at them first. But they are in rough, and they do have a hasty entrenchment. So that will be interesting. All others are out of maximum range, so that's all for the CW fire. Okay, so now I'm just moving those off just to clean up the board a little bit. So now we'll get the direct fire. So coming down here, we're going to take our shot. This one here, 223, is going to fire at the ATR. Right here, it's point blank, medium cover, hasty entrenchment moving. So suppress on 54 to 83, effective 84 or higher. What do we get? We get just barely an 85. So it's effective. So that is going to reduce them and suppress them right there. So that effectively stops their attempt to hand because they will not go in like that. Now 233 mortar is going to take the same shot at them as well. They roll an 83. They had point blank, medium cover, moving, hasty entrenchment. They needed an 80 to 100, and they roll an 83, so it's effective. So that actually knocks them out completely. So they're eliminated. All right, so we took care of them. Now to the north, we have our 231, I believe it's this guy, 30, 231, 134. No, it's this guy who's actually firing. I don't know where he got that number there, but he's actually firing at this guy down here. And he's going to need, oh, excuse me. No, I got that backwards. It was this guy, this AB 41, because it's short range. So suppression on 43 to 70, effective greater than 71. Rolls a 17, it's a miss anyways. Okay. Next one. Checking ranges. Now the 231 up here is going to fire medium range. Suppressions of 43 to 70, 71 greater for an effective. He rolls an 83. That is a hit. And he's going to be reduced to a half squad, and suppression goes back on. Alright, so that's kind of helpful. And the next one we have is going to be the AB-41. He's going to take a shot at the AT gun up here. This guy right here with the universal carrier, because he's the next one. This guy here is the one who's actually firing. Rolls command check on the gun. Rolls a 17. He's going to have a move command. I guess they're trying to drag the gun back a little bit. So now his shot's going to be long range moving, suppression 38 to 85, effective 66 or greater. Rolls an 88, that knocks them out. All right, so we're making some progress here and damaging or destroying some of the Commonwealth units. Okay. So that concludes our firing phase. Now we've got the move phase, which is going to be German and Italian first. There's no hand-to-hand now because that was now ruled out, including down here because he was eliminated. But now we will get the tanks moving up here. So I'll go this somewhat quickly. Want him up here. So the tanks are just trying to regroup back on the track and be able to move as quickly as possible down there. The lone recon unit, Italian recon unit, moves into the brush up here, just trying to get a little bit of cover as it sneaks its way up to try to see what's there. At this point they're within range, but I think I have them hold fire just because it's not a real good shot. And next we've got the Simoverti 75s moving up. So now we're on to the infantry company. And they are moving up, just up the road a little bit. Trying to keep them in command as much as possible. Gets a little tricky, we'll go back to that, because they're kind of spread out. We've got units back here, which are going to have to mount back up. We've got units down here going to mount back up. So their command range is only 7, so really tight situation here for these units. So now moving back to the north, checking some ranges here, and now we're going to get things moving. So we're going to get the other 231 moving up the track. And then the tanks are going to come up to position to try to knock out those units in that rocky outcropping there, and try to knock them out as best as possible. They do discover this unit down here, I think, yeah, because they took a shot at them moving up. So they discovered them there. Turns out to be a rifle unit. Turns out to be a rifle unit, another rifle unit, a mortar unit, just like what we had up here, down in there. So we've got, a little, we've got a reduced platoon over here, plus some support weapons holding out up here. So now we got more tanks moving up. Those are some of the Panzer 3s, the 3Hs, and the Js, as well as the Panzer 4Es moving up over here. Kind of building a little gun line here, take some shots at them next turn. And now we've got the infantry company moving up. This is just going to be up the road, pretty much staying in formation right there, not deploying. Okay, so now we move into the adjustment phase. There's no pivots and there's no turret changes. No full cover, suppression removal. Going to try to get it off of this squad down here. Needs a 50 or less. Fails, gets a 77. And then we're also going to try on this, there's a M1441 right here. That's suppressed, so we're going to try to get that off. Rolls a 28, that works. All right, so he didn't move. Now we go back up here to the 3-inch mortar. They need a 60 or less, because they didn't get fired on. Roll a 58, that's a success. And then the other guy, he will just decrease to off, because remember, he got hit with fire, effective fire, and that put him up to suppress. Okay. So now morale adjustment. There's no morale adjustment yet, and command markers are off. And there we have it. There is turn 7. So, making progress up here to the north. The south slowed down here a little bit, but they should make progress hopefully here in the next turn. So with that, we'll move on to turn 8. Okay, here we come with turn 8. So where we left off, Germans making progress to the north, Italians regrouping in the south a little bit. So let's see how turn 8 goes. So spotting phase, a little bit of range checking here. And then we can see now hex 06 down here can be spotted by the AB-41. So we're going to do an activation check. Rolls a 78, that's fake, that's good. So he's out of there. And some others, nope, they're out of range. So hex F8, that's this guy over here. Most likely will fire on the next turn. I'm thinking with this, I'm going to let the ranges decrease a little bit, given the fact that they're more effective in a closer range, and they're not going to be detected until they're a little bit closer. Technically, this right here would not be detected until 3 hexes away, 300 meters. If it was just a straight unit, it would actually be 500 meters for the recon. So I'm going to kind of let that decrease, let the opening shot decrease to about 5 hexes before we go at it again with them. So that'll make it a little bit more interesting here. So next we've got our command phase. Italian tanks still have 4 commands. Basically going to, let me zoom in here a little bit, going to still continue to move. And then the Italian Bersaglieri units are going to have 7 commands. Again, they're going to be moves this time, mostly. And then we move up here to the AB-41s. There we go. And just checking some ranges. But these are all going to be moves because they're going to need to mount up down here. I've used 2 moves down here to actually mount them up. One of them could be shared over here. The other one's going to be shared between these 3 units over here. That's really an interesting point. I'll just pause on that and just make a point about that. Is the sharing of commands, particularly if you're using restricted commands, you've got to be pretty creative, and you got to make sure units, stay relatively close to each other. So now I'm just checking some more ranges to see what I want to do. They're actually going to mount up the mortars because I don't think they've got the range without having some sort of indirect fire. And that's that. So now we move on to the Panzer company. So now we're going to have our recon units, our 231s, PSW 231s, opening fire, trying to suppress or reduce these units here a little bit for the tanks to move up. They're going to be the support for now. Some of the tanks are going to open up, and the rest of them are going to move. All right, and then we got our infantry company still staying in column. And there we have it. Okay, initiative. So we get a plus 20. We need a greater than 50 to get it. We roll an 89. So basically get it. We get 109 to 50. So we're the first player. That's good. So now we move into the fire phase. And the first is going to be the indirect fire. Now, with this, I'm going to slow down here a little bit too, because the pre-plotted fire for the Commonwealth has ended. But we do have the forward observer observing different targets. And you notice there are some red VP markers out here. These signify pre-registered locations. In other words, this is what the forward observer has worked out with the artillery, that these hexes will be spots that they will have pre-registered their fire and be a little bit more effective with it. Now, if you notice, we've got tanks sitting right on top of them. That was my mistake in terms of lining them up over there. I was thinking more about the attack than, what could happen here. So the forward observer, this right here is going to be his priority. He's got a nice juicy set of tanks here. He's got 2 there. He's got 2 more there. And then he's got a couple more back here. So he's got a ton of tanks to drop in indirect fire, and that's what he's going to do. And now the indirect fire is obviously it's going to be HE, and it's always going to be closed sheath. So that means it's just the target hex plus the initial hex around it. So that's going to be our target hex, and we do need to check if the indirect fire responds to the target. Now it's organic artillery. We've got a forward observer, and it's pre-registered fire. So we need to roll basically a 2 or higher. So 0 or 1 would be great because we wouldn't get hit with it, but that's only a 20% chance. So let's see what we get. Well, wrong one. There we go. Roll a 2. It was close. So pre-registered fire comes in on us and lands in those hexes that I just marked right there. So this is going to be bad. So we're going to have 6 attacks here, 1 for each tank in each one of the hexes here. So the range is 8, so that's going to be short range. So it's going to be short range, armored, moving, suppression 61 to 100 for the Panzer 4Es. So the first shot 51 is a miss. Second shot is 45, which is a miss. Third shot 75. That is a suppression on him. And then the third shot is a miss. And the fourth shot there is a miss. Last shot is a miss. All right, so we got lucky. We only got 1 suppression on 323 right here. That's a Panzer 4E. I've got an extra suppression on there. I think I'd take that off later. All right, so we dodged a little bit of a bullet here with the artillery, and we're in pretty good shape. So now moving along, direct fire. So now we're going to do some direct fires. German Italian. PSW 332 is going to fire at this universal carrier over here. All right, we're going to do our command check for it. Rolls an 85. That means it's going to be not a hasty entrench, but it's going to be hull down. There we go. So he's hull down. That's not good. That's going to knock out some of our hits. We've got long range, sunblind size, so it's 21 or less. 29, that's a miss. Okay. Then his buddy here, or no, the tanks up here. These guys, these are the J's, yep. They're going to take a shot over here and fire at the universal carrier with a machine gun. Roll an 18. Oh, that's command, sorry. So that's going to have an Overwatch command. So they're sitting out there. They didn't entrench. Long range, size, sunblind 21 or less. To hit. Rolls a 92. That's a miss. Second one, same thing. 89. That's a miss. All right. So now the 231 back here, he's going to fire at the ATR-3 right up here with the universal carrier. Check for command for him. Rolls a 6. He's moving. All right, that may help us. So long range moving suppression is going to be 46 to 70, effective 71 or greater. And where's my roll? Where'd the roll go? Sorry. There's a roll here someplace. I did get a roll in there, but I don't know what happened. It's effective, I think. So he's reduced to half squad. And now we have this Panzer IV-H down here, 313, taking a shot at the mortars right there. Command check. He's going to be firing over there because he's within range. This one was an overwatch because he was out of range. So he's just going to fire at him. So it's going to be short range, medium cover, hasty entrenchment, 75 to 100. Rolls a 19. That's a miss. Okay. So I think that's all of our firing. If you remember down here, if we go back to my zoom out view. No firing over here. These guys are all moving down to the south. So we'll just zoom you back in here. So we'll take a look at the CETA. It's Commonwealth firing. So first, I think we take the 3-inch mortar. And he is going to fire at either one of these AB-41s. He was firing at the nearest weakest unit. Rolls a 7, so he's going to fire at 134. So point blank, moving, armored. He'll need a 36 to 66 to suppress, and 67 or greater to be effective. That's pretty good odds for him. I don't like that. Oh, he rolls a 23, but I like that. So he missed. That's good. Okay. Next. He's going to be in full cover. This 3-inch mortar down there is going to be in full cover. So that's all for the direct fire phase. So now we move into the moving. There's no hand-to-hand or close combat. So Commonwealth is going to move first. Just checking for actions for the revealed units. And checking, let's see, somebody's moving here. Oh, it's this guy up here, the number 3, I believe. Yeah, he's going to take the safest route. He takes a step back. There. So now I'm going through and I'm going to zoom us out here because I'm going to look at the hidden units. Checking all the first companies, what's left of the hidden units. There's 2 of them down here that are still hidden. So 90, and this guy's going to entrench. This guy's going to have overwatch. And we'll go to the second company. So a few things here. There's an overwatch down the south. Overwatches, a lot of overwatches. I think a couple of moves. Oop, there we go. A couple moves way behind. Not really too significant with it. Okay. So that's where we are. A lot of overwatches up here. We'll see what happens as these guys move up. And then also down in the south here. So I think I started down south. I'm going to zoom in down here. There we go. And so, yep, we move here. Actually, zoom out just a tad. There we go. So we've got the AB-41 moving out. He's seen. Range 9, like I said, he's holding his fire till he gets a little bit closer. He's going to move up closer, and now it's going to trigger it. So now over here, he's really out on his own. So if he gets hit, he's gone, but he'll be spotted and can go from there. So short range moving, small target, 49 or less to hit. Rolls an 83, so it's a miss. So now we roll for our activation roll. Rolls a 90, so that's going to be fake. All right, that's good. Checking the range on that, he's still too far. But he's going to move down to there. Still too far away to spot. Okay, so now we're going to move up our tanks. This is the M1441s. And we're just going to move them down the road. We got to keep them moving. It's turn 8 here, so we're a little over a third of the way through. So we've got to keep moving to get to the other side of the board. And now we have some of the trucks reloading or remounting. And I'm just putting the counters off the board over here. I didn't put them back on the setup thing there. I just moved them off there. So they're all set. And then we've got the mortars mounting up, and then the rest of them moving down the road a little bit. Heavy machine guns kind of just sitting there. He was going to kind of be a overwatch unit, but now everybody's not there, so he'll probably mount up in future turns. Okay, now we move back to the north. We've got some units moving up. These two H's are moving up here to get better position. And now this is, I thought about this long and hard, and then I said, oh boy, we're right under artillery. If I move these tanks, they're going to get hit again. I don't want them hit again. So I'm going to wait. Hopefully he's going to miss on the next round, and we'll be able to get out of there. We'll see, and I'll talk more about this in turn 9, the next set of videos that come out here, because hindsight 2020, I don't like that decision. I should have start moving these out a little bit earlier, but I'll talk about that more later. And also, I hold up the infantry column up here, which I think was a bad move as well. I should have moved them around the artillery, or started to move them around the artillery over here. Little preview of the next video, I do that eventually, but I lose a turn of movement to getting them around here, which, it is what it is. It was my choice. Bad choice. But this is why I play the games. These are the decisions that I want to make either make correctly, hopefully, or incorrectly, so I learn from them. That's the whole point of a lot of these games in terms of simulation, is trying to make smart decisions at the point in time and learning from them as you go along. So anyways, a little bit of commentary there. Going on to the adjustment phase, we're going to have pivots. There was no pivots, no turn adjustments, no full cover for me. Suppression adjustments. Let me zoom it out here because I think we're going to go down to our guy down here. And yeah, oh no, we got our rifle unit over here trying to get better. Rolls a 56, he's in good shape. Success, there we go. And then we flipped over, we flipped over these guys up here. And I think I did this guy down here as well, but he stayed suppressed. He stays suppressed. Anyways, so now I'm doing the markers and then the end of turn. So there we have it for turn 8. Pretty dramatic here. Artillery stalled the tanks to the north. We discovered some new units, knocked out a couple of units here. So to the north, we're engaging. The Panzers are engaging, and starting to get into the battle here a little bit with some success. Also some worries. Bigger worries about these trucks and half tracks here. I don't want them to get hit by artillery because that will devastate them down here. The same thing with the Italians down here as well. So, Panzer's getting it. I guess that's okay. Not thrilled about it, but it is what it is. Okay, so end of turn 8. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, please feel free to subscribe. If you haven't already, please like it, and please comment. Love to hear your comments. It's always good to see what people think, good, bad, the ugly, the whole thing. And look forward to the next one for turns 9 and 10.